Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be everything to do with our two cats. We've been traveling around Australia full time for the last 12 months and we've been taking our two cats along with us. In the beginning, it was not easy. We had to adapt the van, we had to get the cats harness trained. Very tough. I honestly thought that we couldn't do van life with these two cats. But we made it work and it's been a whole year and they absolutely love being on the road. So today we're going to show you all of that and how we kind of prepared them and everything that we do day to day to make sure that they're safe and happy. So let's introduce our little guys.
Alright, so these are our two babies. This is Gatinha and this is Jon Snow. They are brother and sister and they were both rescued. We adopted them about 7 years ago and they are about 7.5 years old. We got them when they were 6 months old, more or less, because they were rescued. No one knows exactly how old they are. So Gatinha means little cat in Portuguese, and we called her that because when Wade was learning Portuguese, he would see any cat on the streets and he would just call it Gatinho. So now we have our own.
And if you didn't know, Dani is from Brazil.
I am from Brazil,
yes, so that's why.
And we speak Portuguese in Brazil. She's our little adventurer. She's always out and about exploring. She's more on her own, like she doesn't like to be close to you all the time. She comes when she wants to. And Jon Snow was named after my favorite character.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
In the series Game of Thrones, he is a lot more affectionate and just wants to be with us all the time. He's more chilled and relaxed. We got Gatinha first. We saw her online. Wade wanted a white cat. So we saw her online and we went there to check it out and brought her home with us. At the time, both Wade and I worked full-time, so we felt really sorry for her that she was alone the whole day. So after a month of having her, we called the same rescue place and asked if they still had any of her brothers or sisters from the same litter. They had, I think, 3 or 4 still, and they were all at foster homes. So she organized for, I think, 2 of them to come meet us at the time. Jon Snow was the more affectionate one of the both, so we brought him home with us as well. Best thing we ever did was to get 2 cats. They play together, they clean each other, they have fights every now and then, but then they are cleaning each other 5 minutes after that. So it was the best thing, and really there's no extra work for having a second cat. They have both been indoor cats for the first 6 years that they have been with us. We lived in a unit before moving full-time into the van, so they've been indoor cats since then. And then that's why it was a bit of a challenge to get them adapted to the van, because they were used to being inside a unit. And it was funny because we would open the unit door and they would run back inside scared of the outside world. So we never really thought that was actually gonna work, having them full-time on the road with us. But they're both doing really well now, and we're gonna explain to you how we got them to where they are now.
How do we introduce them to the van? So in the very beginning, when we were doing the van build, we decided to bring them in during that van build just to kind of get them used to the van and get the smells and things like that. And then as the van build was getting closer to near the end, we would bring them into the van and actually feed them inside the van so they felt comfortable, and would spend a few hours with them inside the van, and they started to realize that this was a happy place for them. They felt safe and they just kind of got used to the van. Then we started to do small trips around the block, about 20 minutes, 10 minutes, just to get them used to driving. They had never been in a car before. So like Dani had said, for 6 years they stayed inside an apartment. Every now and again they might go in a car to the vet, and they didn't like that process. So we had to slowly build them up to getting on longer and longer trips. At the very beginning, Jon Snow would also get motion sickness and he was not coping with long drives. So we did have to keep him pretty small, but now no issues whatsoever. He is quite happy to do hours on end, and they just pretty much sleep whenever we're driving. Our first weeks full time on the road, we just took it really slow. We'd only ever do like 20-minute, half-an-hour drives. Just listen to how the cats were, making sure that they were safe and happy and not too stressed during this process. It's them, like they were coming with us. We wanted to make sure that they were happy just as much as we were happy.
So how did we start harness training? So even before we dreamed about having this van, we wanted to get the cats used to the harness. So when we used to live in a unit for 6 years, we tried multiple times to get them used to harnesses. So one thing that we would do is we would just put them on and let them walk around the house and the unit with these on, so they would get used to it. Then the next step was to take them outside the unit block, just walking around our unit block in the grass to get used to being outside. What we started doing was we bought these really long leads and we would just clip them onto the harness and take them outside. Now Gatinha would love that. She loved being outside, exploring, smelling new smells, but Jon Snow really hated it. He would freeze at one spot and start crying, and it was a cry like I had never seen in my life. It was a different cry, like he was hating life. So we would just bring him inside, and we would still try with Gatinha every now and then. But we knew that as soon as we moved to the van, we would need to start doing this training, because we didn't want them being stuck inside 7 square meters for their whole lives. We wanted them exploring outside. So when we bought the van, we did the harness training again, and we would open the van door and let them out. Jon Snow wasn't as scared anymore, because I feel like he wanted to go outside more than being comfortable in a unit. So for the first 6 months that we were in the van, this is exactly what we would do. We would have harnesses on, a really long lead. This is about 3 meters long. We would always hang on to the lead and try to take them for walks close to the van. They got used to that and actually loved it. They would love to go outside, and if there was any sand, they started doing their businesses outside, which we loved. And then we realized that Gatinha learned how to escape her harness, so she would just back out and escape from it. And the good thing is that she never escaped and tried to run. She would just escape, like she just wanted to get rid of the harness itself. So then she would escape and just still stay around the van and smell and do her businesses, so that was good. So we started letting Gatinha out without her harness and her lead, because she hated it. We realized that she never would go too far. She would always smell around the van, smell the trees. She started climbing trees even, but she never would go too far. So we let her out without a harness, always keeping an eye on her and what she was doing. Then it was time to let Jon Snow go out free. We also noticed that he would just follow her pretty much and go wherever she was going. So we knew she was good. She would come back running to the van if she was scared, and so he learned and did the same. So these days they don't use these anymore. We let them out without a harness on. Again, always with our eyes on both of them if they are outside. But yeah, this was our harness training process.
We get asked a lot, how do we keep the cats cool inside the van while we're traveling around? Because sometimes we can get like 30, 35 plus type days, so that we have to keep them cool because they feel the heat. One of the ways is that you can see right here is that we have these 2 pet cooling mats. There's like a gel type inside that kind of dissipates the heat. So they like to lie on this one, and it keeps them cool. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that we have 3 fans. We have 2 roof fans like this. So one sucks in, one sucks out, and it creates a circulating flow. We also have another fan just up over here to keep the air flying around. Next up, when we know it's going to be a hot day, we make sure we block all of the windows so it stops the heat from getting inside the van, because once the heat gets in, it's very hard to get out. So what we have these blockouts. We put them on all of the windows. These are just the back windows. There's just magnets around it, and it just goes into place. We have it on both windows. We have one on the side, the sliding window, and the front windows. And we also have a curtain that goes across to block as much heat as possible. Keeping the cats cool isn't just one thing. It's like a combination of multiple things that all add up to keep them nice and cool. The other things we do is that we have a spray bottle and we would spray them. They're not a huge fan of this, but we know that it helps, and we'll also keep this in the fridge when it's really hot, so it's cold water on them. We also have their water. They have access to this 24/7. Super hot. We will put ice in there to keep that water cold. We don't have an air conditioning yet, so we've been thinking about getting a little portable air conditioner. We haven't come across that we've really needed it. We may need it in the future, but as of right now, we're kind of getting away with everything that we do right now. We almost forgot that we also run a temperature monitor that we sit kind of roughly around here. It tells us the temperature inside the van. We're able to see that through an app on our phone, which is super convenient. This is a new addition to the van. We can also set alerts. So if you want to set the temperature to 30 degrees, 35 degrees, whatever it is, it will give you an alert on your phone, so you know, okay, I need to go back to the van. It's too hot. We need to deal with the cats.
Now I'm gonna show you where we keep all of our cat stuff in the van when they are in use, when they're not in use, and the van modifications that we had to do to get the van ready for the cats. So Wade already showed you. For water, we have this bowl with, this used to be an airtight bowl, but it broke, but it still holds the water in place when we're driving, so it doesn't go anywhere. So it's always closed when we're driving. As soon as we stop, we open the lid and they have access to fresh water. But now Gatinha has recently found out that we have a water filter in the van, so she doesn't drink from the water bowl anymore. She comes here, she starts leaking, so a little bit of water comes out, and then we have to come and open the filter for her. So now she only drinks fresh filtered water.
I think we're gonna have to get her own,
the proper water filter,
yeah, for cats.
So now I'm going to show you where we keep their food. First, where we keep their bowls. So this seat is basically everything cat related. So we have cat harnesses, brushes, everything, toys, everything is here behind this seat. And then at the bottom here we have their 2 bowls. So our cats are used to having 2 meals a day, breakfast and dinner. Breakfast is usually at like 6 a.m. and they have dry biscuits. And dinner is around 6 p.m. and they have pet mints for that. So pet mints obviously is in the fridge. And for the dry biscuits, we keep them inside this cabinet and in this protein container. And I think it's food time now. Maybe I should give them 1 or 2 biscuits. You guys want some biscuits? We give them 1 scoop or 1 protein scoop in the mornings, but now because it's not proper breakfast time, I'll just give them a few biscuits. Here, Jon Snow. You come here. Right. And as in for van modifications, we only had to do 1, which was to find a place for the kitty litter. So what we did was we found this empty space between the driver's seat and the passenger seat. So we created this box with the lid. So the lid, we use the lid for maps and glasses and sunscreen and every other bit. It's always a mess in here. But then as soon as we lift the lid, you can find the kitty litter inside. So we always keep the lid closed when we're driving and open when we are stopped. The cats adapted really well to the box and they love it, but recently they started going outside more than inside. If they find like a sand pit or soft soil, they really like to do their businesses outside, and we prefer that too, so we don't have to clean this as much.
So where do they go when we're driving? Pretty much Gatinha, she's not a massive fan of the front when we're driving. She always ends up on the bed and just kind of relaxes. She'll look out the window or she'll just sleep. Jon Snow, on the other hand, he loves being up the front with us. Usually he'll sit inside the box and just kind of hang out with us while we're driving, or he'll sit inside the bench seat and just kind of have a nap. Generally, they just sleep whenever we're driving, and our driving's never longer than like 2-3 hours kind of tops, unless we're going really, really far places, but overall, the trips are very short. So where do the cats sleep at night time? Gatinha, being the way she is and likes to have her own little space, generally she sleeps on the front seat, usually on the driver's seat. So if we're stealth camping and someone wants to look in, she gives us away straight away, but that's okay. And Jon Snow will always sleep with us. He either sleeps right in the middle of our 2 pillows or on either side of us. If it's cold, he will sleep under the blankets, and that is the time that Gatinha will actually come sleep with us. When it's cold, she'll come with us. When it's hot, she doesn't want anything to do with us. Just using us for the warmth. So we're gonna wrap it up there. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions whatsoever, put it in the comments below. We're more than happy to help.
If we have enough questions, we're happy to do a part 2 video to help as many people as we can.
We went through this whole process and we just would love to be able to help anyone else that wants to bring their pets on the road. We're so happy that we decided to do it. It's been the best decision that we made to make sure that they came with us, they were safe and happy, and we get to bring them along on this crazy adventure that we're having.
Thanks for watching.
See you guys soon.
Bye.